Live. Oh, well, hey, how's it going? It is Tuesday.
It is Tuesday, and welcome to this week's edition of Hook, Line, and Striker.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Emily. And sometimes technical difficulties happen. We were clicking the buttons and it was just not working. So to those of you at home, thanks for bearing with us and thanks for joining us. Once the show gets started, you'll never even notice that happened.
That's okay. We've had our fair share of technical difficulties over the last couple weeks anyways.
So. We do like to share quite a few videos, as many as we can, to bring the shows and expos to the people who cannot be there. So I know in the past we've done quite a bit of that, but we have actually been working
that's
on,
awesome.
Some of our news, our sound quality, and just getting back into show season. It's been a full 2 years, which has been crazy, but it has been super fun.
Super fun. And it's amazing how fast you get back right into the rhythm. You walk around the shows and get to say hi to everybody. And everybody was super excited. The energy was super high, which is my favorite part. The cool things around the shows and seeing the people, everything is really great. But just being in the building with so many people, so many anglers that love the same thing, it's really cool.
And it's funny that you say that, anglers that all love the same thing, because I always feel like everybody does things a little bit different, and that's kind of what makes it cool too. And with that, we're going to do kind of a little bit of a review of some of the expos and things that we've seen and all of that. But if you guys have questions or comments or anything along the way, then definitely let us know.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we have seen, everyone is really interested in ice gear, and I think partially because the ice has just kind of started forming. So have you seen any trends in the things that people are looking for?
Man, like just in general or striker wise?
Well, both, I guess.
I guess the Garmin units are really popular this year. They have been the last couple of years. As far as striker stuff, if you want a pair of stealth gloves, you better get them. They're the last two shows that we were working were just like smalls and extra larges left, and that's hard to fit people when there's only those sizes. But
it is funny that you bring up the stealth gloves, though, because that's exactly one of the things I've been thinking of. Everybody seems to love the idea of that super truly waterproof glove. And now that's kind of a funny way for me to put that, but the reason I say that is because there's a lot of really great waterproof gloves out there that are meant for, the elements and snowmobiling across a lake and ice fishing to some extent. But when you have a situation like the stealth glove, it is waterproof, putting your hands underwater, taking fish out, putting them back, whatever you're doing, drilling holes, cleaning up in that weather where it's like half snow, half mist, half rain. That's like pretty gross. So when you have a glove that can kind of weather through that with you and keep your hands dry, that has been something that everybody seems to be looking for.
Yeah, and I guess kind of to keep piggybacking on that glove trend, the new Stella gloves. I saw a lot of ladies really like that burgundy and that teal. I don't know, it's called Frost. But those two color accented gloves with the Apex that are that part of the Apex lineup. They have that what's that? Primaloft. They have that Primaloft insulation in it, and everybody's taking those really well. I think a lot of those were selling too.
And that is a neat thing, because when you come to the shows and expos, there is a pretty large selection of the gloves to choose from. So, it's interesting to be sitting here and talking about I'd say such a small detail, but, your hands are such a huge piece of being on the ice and being an effective angler. The other trends that I've seen this year, quite a few people, I always say the Predator is one of the most popular suits, and I guess I don't have numbers in front of me to prove that, but I always say it because the number that we see fly out the door. So a lot of anglers focusing on mobility. There's all of these drill augers these days. Our Razor Scout, we can run around. You want a suit that is super mobile that'll get you across the lake, and so that Predator suit is just everybody's favorite.
Yeah. That's still been pretty popular this year, at the shows at least. And yeah, I mean, just suits in general, I think have been pretty popular. Uh, a lot more people coming into the booth, knowing what the striker suits are. If that makes any sense to anybody, just not going, oh, what striker, what floats. It's just like, oh, hey, can you show me the climate, or hey, can you show me the hard water? So that's been interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, it's actually interesting though, because I think I was almost going to say the opposite of you. There's a bunch of anglers. You can do your research online. There is forum and after forum and post after post about different suits that people know and love. But I think on the other hand that there's a lot of people that assume that striker is a big name, that they should know what is there. And you don't want to assume that, because there's a lot of options that are hanging up. I mean, there's a lot of racks and things to choose from. And, you can go and just choose and start trying them on. And that is awesome. But the one thing that I wish people knew is that, we are here to help you.
Yeah.
And especially going into St. Paul, there's going to be several different vendors with several different booths of striker staff. And, they are all super friendly people. Many of them we have actually had on this show. So you might even recommend or recognize the faces. That would be awesome. But once you are at those booths, those people are kind of experts on what the different suits are or how it suits each angler. So asking those questions and being able to try the suit on yourself will get you much farther than a lot of people just go up to the racks and hope for the best.
Yeah, and everybody, pass the word along. If you're going to St. Paul, make sure you stop by the main booth of Striker, because they usually have every size of every piece of clothing for you to try on. That's what that big display there is there for. They have the new stuff, you can go up and ask about it, but they have all the stuff in usually all of the sizes. So then when you're ready to buy, you can go to one of the great retailers there at the show, and or just go there, get your size. There's no pressure to buy anything. You just go there, talk to the people. It's all the main booth is run by a lot of the people that work at Striker, and they all know a lot of stuff about all the brands.
Just to highlight one of the things that you were saying, though, because again, this is something that's a little bit different this year than in previous years. You were mentioning, having that sizing. So for people who have been to the other two expos, one of the things that you might have noticed, especially if you came later in the weekend, is how quick some of the different sizes of the product in hand sold out. Now, there's some things that can be ordered and drop shipped and no problem. And then there are some things that, honestly are still maybe waiting to, with this whole shipping thing that everybody is kind of going through. I think that we apply to that too. So make sure that if you are looking to order gear, that you kind of have a timeline, generally on what they think that would be, so that you kind of know as you're getting out on the ice what that looks like for you. But the other thing that's interesting, in the past, a lot of times people waited till the end of the weekend to see if like deals and stuff got better. But especially with with things selling out, that might not be the case. So, we've been kind of talking coming into this ice season that if there's things that you're looking for, you might want to get them when you see them. I'm not going to say that, hopefully everybody out there that wants a striker suit can get a striker suit, or any gear,
suit,
any gear. Yeah. But, just keep in mind that if you are able to find like the size that you like and the color that you like, and it's all in hand, like that's a pretty fabulous situation this year.
Mm-hmm. And, as much as these shows are about the gear, it's, I would say a lot of times it's more about the information you can gather. Use that, $15 or whatever the cover is, and track down some of the staff for all these companies, track down the pros that they have that are wandering around, just bend their ear a little bit. They love to chat, and I think I saw a lot of that in the last two shows. There was some good seminars going on. There was plenty of staff and professionals running around just chatting with people, and that was cool to see.
Yeah, the other thing that's really cool to see, and even here as well, quite a few people checking in to say hello. And that's one of our favorite things at the show. So, we're saying, go and see those staff because they're approachable people and ask them questions. But like, especially if you see us, come and say hi because we love that. I think that sometimes you guys sit here with us and get to talk fishing and like get to know our faces. But for some of you, all I know is like your little profile picture on the side, and so that's like a really fun thing to, come and introduce yourself and say hi because we love to hear that as well.
And all the fishing stories.
Yeah, that's true too.
I get sick of hearing your fishing stories.
You were just there for most of them. So with that, if anybody has comments or questions or things along the way, put that in the comment box. To be honest, I didn't intend for this to be a very long show tonight unless people have things they want to talk about. I do see a few notes off to the side here. Ray was saying women product are expensive. Well, I think like fishing products are expensive. And it depends on really what you're looking for because Josh had mentioned earlier in the day the brand new Stella lineup. I think you were talking about the gloves specifically. There is bibs to go with that. There is jackets to go with that. There's hats to go with that. But it is some of the newest technology that's out there, and it is made for women. It is kind of in-demand stuff. So, I mean, it's not the demand that's driving the price. It's, the way that the suit is constructed and all of the technology that goes into all of that. But I think that, honestly, when you look at it, it kind of does equally compare to men's gear. So, like, look across the booth, and sometimes what you're buying, you get kind of like blinders on because that's what you're looking at the time. But the other thing is that the gear is meant to hold up. I mean, like, you're not getting it for this year and then having to come back next year. Like, that's a sad thing about striker gear. And I'm saying, come say hi because otherwise we won't see you for like 5 or 10 years.
Well, and you know what? The thing about any of the suits out on the market today, for the most part, it's an investment like a ice house, like your flip over or your hub. These suits nowadays are not your Carhartts that you snow blow your driveway with, although, some of us use them to blow our driveway. But, it's like supposed to be the most mobile shack. You can wear it. You put the jacket on, the hood has the wire in it. So, kind of put your head in a little tunnel and a little shelter, and you can fish outside for as long as your hole stays open, right? So, maybe you just get an ice defense and you sit outside and you jig until you're froze to your bucket. But that's why these suits are so expensive these days, is that they're made like a shack.
Ray is interesting in a comparison show of all of the different suits. Ray, I would suggest honestly maybe checking that out online because I don't know if we can tell you one of the things about that is everybody's opinion is different. And so like I could sit here and give you an opinion or somebody else could sit here and give you an opinion. But I think that is the beauty of the shows and the expos is that you have all the gear in one place and you kind of have the people standing by it that stand by it. I mean, there's reasons that like I personally love my striker gear and that doesn't mean that the other gear is garbage. It just means that there's something for everybody, and so to be able to find that for yourself as an angler is super important. And there's so many people around, so many anglers that don't have accessibility to see these in stores. Like if you live near like a big box store that has all of these, that is crazy.
Ray, I think you bring up a good point. I think that's a possibility. I think we can make a show like that happen. We know enough of the people across the industry. Maybe we do it on one of our Thursday night shows. And just invite some of our friends from the other brands, and we'll just do like a round robin. Everybody can show off their suits and talk about the details, and then we can just have a friendly discussion because quite honestly, like that's what we're all about is that, you know, whatever works for me doesn't work for the guy down the street, So if we can help clarify that out a little bit for you guys, maybe that's a good thing. That's a great suggestion. Thanks, Ray.
Yeah, balling on a budget, every penny has to count. Yeah, I totally understand you, to be honest. Just all my money goes towards fishing gears. That's my whole budget. That's it. Full disclosure. Oh my gosh. But those are great questions, and I urge you to go and ask them at the ice shows when you go and see people, because that's again the neat thing is that everybody would have a different answer for that. So even message us after the show. I'm willing to give you kind of the long speech of it. But part of that is how I am as an angler and, the things I'm looking for. One of the things that we always talk about with people, it only takes one piece to be considered safe with striker gear. So a lot of the companies advertise that you need to have both pieces. And I just often find myself not wearing my jacket. So there's a whole bunch of other little details and things like that. But it's worth the conversation.
Ray, it looks like you started something. We're gonna have to start a third podcast.
Just comparing all the
brand
products.
Comparison or something.
Terry is saying
same with rod boxes.
Yeah, same with rod boxes.
So no, that's a great point. Hid my mouse on me. No, I mean that's a great point. Like, we can make that stuff happen. That's pretty easy. And you know what? We could just be moderators. We don't even have to give our 2 cents because you guys follow us and you're obviously on the show, so you're pretty awesome striker fans. And but what doesn't hurt to know about the other stuff. So yeah, let's moderate. Let's do a round robin. That'd be fun.
Well, and either way, I love the ideas that are coming in because those are two things that honestly I had not thought about.
No.
Awesome. And I guess with that, we will be at St. Paul. It's in, like a week and a half at this point. Let's say 2 weeks almost. But, if there is things that you want to see at the Ice Expo, you can't actually make it there, but that something is going to be there. Let us know what you're interested in because we would love to bring that to you guys as well.
Yeah. Also, when we're going around and we're posting videos and stuff, feel free to message us if something's going weird with the videos, because that's very helpful. So that'd be awesome.
Awesome. So if anybody has other thoughts and things along the way, definitely let us know. We have Thanksgiving coming up, and so we were here to talk a little bit about the shows and all of that. But again, one of the things that we are so thankful for is just, all of you guys that are here to share this awesome stuff with us. So whether it is online here or whether it is a show or an expo or an event or on the ice or whatever that looks like for you, we love that. And just thanks for that.
Yeah. What are you reading?
Dustin has a comment here. It's hard not to read when you guys type things because it's like a conversation I want to participate into. We need to get more ice shows in Wisconsin. Jonathan Hafner, you just stay tuned because we agree with you so much.
Oh, man, we got so much to say about that. Just hold on. Just hold on.
Just hang tight, people. Yeah, there's more to come.
Head Velcro access.
Okay, Dustin is saying he just found out about the knee pad Velcro access on my Striker Predator bibs. I'm so excited about adjusting or adding padding to the knees. Dustin, I've got to be honest. It is not often that I am speechless, but this is a function that I am unaware of. I can't believe I've been
on the Predator,
a lot of things I know about these suits.
Well, and on the Predator bibs, it does have the jean access like at the top.
Oh yeah, you can go right through when you forget your phone in
maybe just
jean pocket.
Maybe just adding some padding. I don't know.
Neither of us have Predators, to be honest. So
no.
I feel like I've got to wait till St. Paul and then I've got to go and check. Send a note into corporate. Let's ask this. Now I'm interested. But that's the reason that it's almost like well, I was going to say it's almost so believable. I mean, I believe you, Dustin. You're a great guy. But that's the thing about it. There's so many awesome details. When you look into the right pocket on the climate bibs, there is a secret bait or beverage holder. So if you have not looked in there, sometimes people think that there's like a little spot in their seam or whatever that was missed, but like put your finger in there and dig out that holder because it is in there. And again, that's something that we would love to show you at an expo. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, come and find us. And we should probably do a video on it. So watch the page and we'll try to get that out as well.
Yeah. There's an access panel and I'm often kneeling on it. Huh.
Justin is giving us more information.
Yeah.
So if you're reading the comments and you have predator bibs, guys, go and check this out because this is fabulous news.
Jonathan, you bring up this point. This is pretty funny. So the number of years, the people at we'll give a quick shout out to Fish Donkey. The people that run that app are just super awesome. They're super supportive, and we've been meaning to put on a crappie tournament. The problem is that you guys all live in places that have way bigger crappies than we do on a regular basis. So, one of these years I'll just get beat. I just haven't got myself that far yet.
But I do love the idea of running a Crappie Junction tournament.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I almost had this idea to do it in July, and we were going to do like a Christmas in July thing. And it didn't come together. So now maybe we'll just do
a Christmas
and Christmas. Yeah. That's funny. It probably will be after the holidays. Because to be honest, I won't talk to Fish Donkey until St. Paul. But those two are awesome. And I heard that their booth is actually on the main floor this year. So that's actually a very exciting thing. If you have not stopped by their booth, it's kind of a fun place to be. They last year or 2 years ago had some fish cut out. So it's kind of fun to pose for a picture with that. But otherwise, there is a whole ton to see at the expos. And, we are looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess other than that, I don't even know what else there is to say. Got to get through Thanksgiving, just power through all the turkey to get to the weekend after. But I know that's going to go really fast. And with that, there is quite a few areas that are beginning to ice over. I've even seen some places with a little bit of ice building up. So, as always, like go early, go late, go prepared, but, ultimately go safely and, know your limits, but ultimately just take a minute and think about how you're sharing your experience with others because it's great to know your limits, but it's also super important to be able to pass some of those safe features on to others.
Well, and we'll just bring this up quick, just because it is a float suit doesn't mean you want to be floating in it. The float suit is the last feature on the suit that you ever want to wear. So just because you have a float suit doesn't mean you can go out on 1.5 inches of ice or should. Some of you are lucky to be 100 pounds and that's great. And you can do that. Just try not to make the rest of us jealous that have to wait for like 4 or 6.
Well, try not to break through at the landing because we all want a smooth place to get in.
Yeah. Stop busting up the landing. And don't throw rocks.
Don't throw rocks. Oh, I'm thankful for lakes that don't have rocks.
Yeah, so you guys are talking, we brought it up and you guys are talking about a little bit of ice around you guys. We had a report of about 1.5 to 2 inches over in central Wisconsin. We had a report on Sunday by us that there was spots with 3/4 of an inch or so. So, it's getting there. Check out the Crappie Junction Instagram. I posted a temperature to ice ratio
for how fast it builds.
So go on there. Feel free to save that chart. But yeah, look at all this stuff we got. We got Dustin, 4 inches. That's perfect. I'd be out there. John, 4 to 6 inches. What's up, Sean?
That is, one of the things though is that, just remember that the ice varies a lot. So, we're talking about these different ice reports, but even in the places that you're beginning to see it build up, there's always places where it's like skim or even still open water. So, if you're that kind of person that's especially willing to travel somewhere really far for ice, just make sure that
Thanks,
you have
Mark.
0 inches in Milwaukee. That's my sadly favorite report. But just make sure that you have an idea of where you're going, or honestly, just wait until after Thanksgiving because we all have stuff going on anyways.
Yeah, and Clayton Schick put out a great video about ice safety. I know Aaron Weeb has a good video out there too. So maybe take the little bit of off time and just refresh the safety steps. Karina, I wish we were gonna go to Fargo, but we won't be there. We will be fishing, hopefully.
That is true. So I was going to say if you can make it to St. Paul, do that. But
Yeah.
Otherwise, lots of great events going on this winter. And if you guys have events or if tournaments or different things that are going on, post it up here in the comments because we just love to hear about those different local events. And not all of those events are local to us, but they may be local to you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Got an open spot December 14th for the show. Oh, that's funny. No, we're not going. That's one weekend we're keeping. Oh, especially if there's ice. Cool. What else?
I don't know. I don't got much else.
No.
I'm pretty boring.
You're
especially when I'm not fishing.
Oh gosh.
No, I don't know. I'll probably start working on some. Oh, Dustin says he wants to be on.
Oh yeah.
On the 14th.
Yeah, we'll hook up with you right after this. Yeah.
No, I don't know. No, I've been tying up some ice flies. Doing some of that this year. We got some new rods to line up, to spool up, whatever. Put reels on.
All those things.
You have rods to put reels on.
That's true. That is true. I guess that's true.
I don't know. Other than that.
That's all we honestly plan to do is talk a little bit about some of the ice shows and the things that have happened. And, it's all been great stuff so far. So if you have not made it out, to see us, we're hoping that you still can. And if not, then I don't know. I guess we're hoping to catch you out on the ice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So with that, we are looking forward to Thanksgiving and looking forward to bringing you a new guest next week.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and we'll see you in St. Paul.